All right, chip of the day. What do we have today? We have a TIP36. We have the 36. Now, TIP35s and TIP36s are from a family. One's an NPN and one's a PNP, and they are complementary. I did a video once on complementary transistors, whether they truly are complementary or not. I'll see if I can remember to put a link down below, but some are and some are just close. So we have the TIP 36. It is the PNP version, okay? Now, this is in a TO247 package. Now, this package here, let me get one out of the bag here. I did a video just recently, and they had a package called a TO3P, and I thought it was one of these, which are certainly a different number. There's a couple in here. Here we go. Let me get a couple of these up, because they're different. One of them has a square tab, and one of them has a pointy tab. But they are both Motorola parts, supposedly. They have an M stamped on them. This one's from 92, this one's from 91. Interesting. So I don't know. Anyway, these are TO247 packages. All right, let's look at the data sheet here, because these are big boys. Okay, here we go. Okay, they're good for 100 volts. That's pretty stout. 25 amps, yes, 25 amps or peak of 50 amps. You're not blowing these suckers up, man. Well, if you have a good enough heat sink on them. Total power dissipation, 125 watts. Yeah, these are good. And their claim to fame is low saturation voltage, 1.8 volts. Now today of FETs and everything, that's silly, but for a bipolar transistor, 1.8 volts is quite good at 15 amps. It does squeak up to 4 volts at 25 amps. So yeah, these suckers are going to get hot, very hot. There's the package. Ooh. All right, let's take a little bit closer look at this thing. I guess I could look at the data sheet, but I'm just kind of curious what the lead spacing is on these things. 0.2 inches. Yeah, 0.2 inches. Well, no, a little bit further. What's it? Let me look at the mechanical drawing. Is it metric? Is it metric? Okay, we want to do E. E is, oh, they're funny. They're 5.45 millimeters. Okay, whatever. That's what they are. And let's get one on a curve tracer. I haven't done many PNPs on the curve tracer. They're a little bit weird when you first put them on a curve tracer, so let's show you that. All right, I have it mounted on a heatsink, otherwise known as a machinist device, and I have it hooked up. So when you are testing transistors, you have to choose whether you're NPN or PNP. Okay, so we're going to put it over here, clank over at PNP, and you notice that instead of the dot being there, the dot goes up there. Okay, because everything gets backwards when the PNP mode. So this is plus things and these are minus things. So when things turn on, they go in the minus direction, and they go in the minus direction. So they have to start up over there in the most positive area, because things keep going negative. And as we turn it on, you can see that we have a transistor, and it's weird looking, okay? Now, you can just do this and know that everything is the way it is, or it's got this nice button right here, boom. Invert display, and then now it looks like an NPN, or it looks like what we're used to looking at. So yeah, there you go. We're 2 volts horizontal, so we're about 15 volts up here, right around there, and 1 amp per division this way. So 1 amp, 2 amp, 3 amp, 4 amp, 5 amps, about 5.5 amps at the peak over here. So we're putting a lot of juice through the thing. 50 HFE or beta 50, so 50, yeah, so about 150, something like, yeah, about, no, 140, maybe 140, beta of 140, something like that. So pretty typical for things like this. Yeah, so if you take a look at NPN transistors, they normally kind of go straight across, and then PNP transistors kind of have a slant to them. Just I don't know about these in modern days, but in the old days, you know, NPNs would kind of run straight across, and the PNPs would have this kind of gentle arc up into the play zone up here. And I don't know why that is. I don't know what semiconductor properties cause NPNs to be easier to make than PNPs, but high-powered PNPs for a long time were very, very rare. And they might still be, I don't know. But yeah, PNP transistors were seemingly harder to make than NPN transistors. Don't ask me why, I'm no semiconductor guy. All right, there you go. Chip of the day was a TIP36, TIP36.